During my time as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State, I saw over and over again the indelible impact women made in our armed forces. I'm happy to join the Virginia International Tattoo this year in honoring the courage and commitment of women serving in the military today and of all the women who served before them.
Every woman who has ever served to protect our freedom was a volunteer. From the earliest days of the Republic, women have served near the battlefield and sometimes on the battlefield, disguised as men. Women like Deborah Sampson, who fought until she was discovered and discharged. And Sally St. Clair, who died fighting for American independence. It wasn't until World War I that women were allowed to officially join the military. Some 13,000 women enlisted in the Navy. More than 21,000 enlisted in the Army and Marine Corps. Army nurses Edith Ayres and Helen Wood were the first of more than 400 women killed in the line of duty in World War I. The 19th Amendment, granting women the right to vote, would not pass until 1919, a year after that war ended. Those women who died in the line of duty had given their lives voluntarily in service to a nation that had not yet recognized their right to vote. World War II brought a new urgency which brought about change. The nation's desperate shortage of manpower was remedied with women power. The U.S. Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard all formed special women's units. The Women's Army Corps, the Navy Waves, the Marine Corps Women's Reserves, and the Coast Guard SPARs. Many more served in non-military roles, like the Women Air Force Service pilots. They flew critical stateside missions in a nation desperately short of pilots. In all, more than 400,000 women served in uniform during the course of the war. They were not allowed in combat roles, yet more than 500 of them lost their lives in the line of duty. After the war, America realized that a strong peacetime military needed to be maintained, and that a strong military needed strong women. The Women Armed Services Integration Act, establishing a permanent but limited role in the military, was signed by President Truman in 1948. During the Korean War, more than 500 Army and Navy nurses served in combat zone and on hospital ships and theater. During the Vietnam War, 7,000 American military women served in Southeast Asia, the majority of them nurses. Thousands more served in civilian organizations like Red Cross. Army nurse Sharon Lane was killed by enemy fire while working in the 312th Evacuation Hospital in Chulai. In 1973, the draft came to an end. The United States established an all-volunteer force, and women volunteers made the most of new and expanding opportunities, breaking down doors previously closed to them.
In those days, everybody was gung-ho to get into something. They really were very, very patriotic, and I have always been a very patriotic soul.
And so when we were deactivated and went back to the reserve, I was acting first sergeant, and that was a big role for me to play. Like I said, just show me the way and I can do it.
When I joined in 1967, there were no women generals. After 30 years of service, both active and reserve, I was promoted to brigadier general.
Two missions defined my military career. First, having served 14 months as an Army nurse in Vietnam, and later challenging the military's ban against homosexuals serving in the military.
I am a 1976 graduate, AKA an Ancient Mariner, of the Maine Maritime Academy, the first woman to graduate from a U.S. maritime or military academy. I am the first American woman to be licensed as a Master Mariner and to command a cargo ship on international voyages.
I am the first and only to date female to lead the United States Army drill team. In 2015, I participated with the United States Army drill team in the Virginia International Tattoo. I often think about, little me, the little girl that I was, and would she be proud of the person I've become? Would she be proud of the people I interact with and the things that I do? And being involved with this, I think she definitely would.
After graduating from West Point, I ultimately deployed with the 3rd Infantry Division. I commanded a military police platoon in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom II. In 2004, my combat patrol was ambushed and I was seriously wounded by shrapnel from a rocket-propelled grenade. I subsequently received a Purple Heart and Bronze Star for my service.
Early in my career, I was the first and only female instructor at the United States Air Force Fighter Weapons School. By the end of my career, I reached the rank of 4-star general and was the first woman in history to command a major unified combatant command.
Here I am, still kicking at 90 years old and being a part of the women that are going to be honored at the tattoo special. It's quite an honor that I've lived that long, that I can be a part of this. Excuse me for emotions, but that's how I feel about the military.
I am proud of women standing up for freedom, standing up for justice, and demanding opportunity. Because of your work, because of your sacrifice, because of the compassion that you have shown, we will all be safer and more secure in today's world.
To the more than 200,000 women who serve in the military today, and to all those who served before you, we can never thank you enough. Your courage and commitment have kept us safe and changed the nation for the better, for all those who follow in your footsteps.
In January of 2016, after more than 200 years of service and sacrifice, volunteered by more than 2 million women, in times of war and peace, often while facing daunting bias and doubt, all jobs within the Department of Defense, including all combat jobs, were open to women. There are no exceptions. Bravo, Zulu.
Please welcome the honorary chairs of the 2019 Tattoo, General Lori Robinson, Lieutenant General Francis Wilson, Major General Donna Barbish, Major General Jeanette Edmonds, Master Chief Susan Whitman, Storekeeper 2 Ruth Rowland, Vice Admiral Mary Jackson, Captain Diane Carlson Evans, Colonel Margaretha Kammermeyer, Captain Lauren Glover, Sergeant Miriam Triscritti, Master Chief Janice Ayers, Chief Rebecca Jones, Ensign Matisse Wright, Rear Admiral Ann Phillips, and the military women of Tidewater. Would all women who serve or have served in the military please stand? We'd like to thank you for your service. And now, please all rise for the Piper's Lament and the playing of taps.
Present out. Order! Out!
Please be seated.